Welcome to this brief tutorial on how to create midterm grade reports for your students using Excel to enter and manage the grades and Microsoft Word, the mail merge function to create the reports for your students. So this is for my graduate teaching assistants. I hope this tutorial makes the process easier for you. So let's start by opening up Excel. Opening up a blank page. Now in your first row, we're going to start by typing in student names. And then in each column, we're going to write the specific assignment that we're giving. So speech 1, speech 2, speech 3. We use Revel for readings. And then we'll have a participation column. Now, I'd like for you to add a total column and then a grade column. Okay, so now in this second row, because we use percentage points on our assignments instead of total points, what I want you to do is put in the percentage that each assignment is worth. So 0.05. So the first speech is worth 5%. The second speech is worth 10%. The third is worth 10, Revel is worth 15, and participation in the class is 10%. Now what I like to do is highlight the percentages, go to Format, Cells, and then click on Percentages and take out the decimal places. And that gives you the percentages there. All right, I'd like to add up to know what the total percentage that the students have completed thus far this semester. So we're going to put in an equal sign, a sum, and then add those percentage points. And so by midterm, we know that 50% of the class has been completed. Okay, so in our third row and subsequent rows, I want you to add students' names. So Sally, John, Eddie, and Chris. Okay, now I'm going to enter the grades that we have so far this semester. For Sally, we have a 78, a 78, an 87, a 92, and then another 78. Okay, we'll enter John. Now that we've entered all the students' grades in, what we need to do is take each score, multiply it times the percentage that it's worth, and then add them all up to find out where they are in the course. So to do this, we're going to go on Sally's row, go under Total, and I'm going to start with a formula. I put equal sign, and then I take the grade. I take Shift 8 to get the multiplication sign. So 78 times 5%, then I add. Go to the next assignment, so 78 times 10%, and I add, I go 87 times 10% plus 92 times 15% plus 78 times 10%. Now before we move, we don't want to do this for each student, so there's something that we have to do with this formula to make it easier. I want you to go into the formula, and everywhere where it has the cell where there is a percentage point, we want to put a dollar sign in front of the letter and the number of that cell. So it's B2, C2, D2, E2, and F2. Okay, so now we're ready to hit enter, and we know that Sally has a 42 out of her 50% that she's completed. So before we find out what 42 out of 50 is, we need to calculate the grades so far for the rest of the class. And so an easy way to do that is to highlight the cell that you've just completed, go to the right bottom corner, and you see that plus sign, and drag down to where your final student is. And there it gives you the percentage points. Now that we have the grades for all of our students here, what I'd like for you to do is go into the grade column and we'll do an equal sign, the grade divided by the percentage. Now we need to go into that cell and put in the dollar signs to keep that 50% constant. When we are calculating each student's grade, it automatically goes to that score. Okay, so we're going to hit enter. So Sally has an 84% by midterm. Let's find out how the other students are doing. Okay, so John has a 74, Eddie has a 91, and Chris has an 85%. Now we're ready to create our mail merge document to show the students their performance. Let's finish this by saving the file. So we're going to save our Excel file. I'm going to call it student grades. And I'm saving it to the desktop. And now we're ready to move forward. So now it's time to create the midterm progress reports for your students. What you need to do is open up Word, open up a blank document, and create the template for what you want your report to look like. So in here I included a title, I included our university logo, I have the student's name, their current midterm grade, and then a breakdown of each assignment, what their grade was, and then to remind them what the percentage is worth. I always like to include more than less in these reports so students have a clearer idea of where they stand. Okay, so now we need to merge the two documents together, the Excel document into the Word document. And the way that we do this is go up to Tools, Mail Merge Manager, Create New, Form Letters. Now we need to get the data, so we get the list. We're going to open the data source. We're going to go straight to the desktop, Student Grades, and open it. And what I do here is do the entire workbook. Okay, so now you can see the placeholders. These were the column titles that we had in the Excel document. So here you take student's name and drag it over and put it under student name. Then I like to take each assignment, so speech 1 goes here, speech 2, speech 3, the Revel grade. Now we can click the down arrow to keep going, participation, the total, I put that at the bottom out of 50% of the course being completed, and then I put their grade at the top here. Now, to complete the merge, I go down to number 6, merge to a new document, click on that, and it creates the new document for me. And so what I can do is I close the mail merge. Now this is the new document. I've got 4 students, but there's 5 pages, so I'm probably not going to print the first page. But look, Sally has an 84%, and it tells her exactly what her grade is on each assignment, what they're worth, and then the total. And it does that for each student. So John, Eddie, and then Chris. So now you are able to print these reports out for your students so they can clearly see the progress that they're making in your class.